to our final portion tonight. So this section occurs in the second to last chapter of Bhagavatam. There are 13 chapters in the 12th canto. This section is in the 12th chapter, and it's entitled The Topics of Srimad Bhagavatam Summarized. So we're going to hear a quick summary of everything that's in Bhagavatam. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, after Shukadeva Goswami finishes instructing Maharaj Parikshit early in the 12th canto, then the remainder of Bhagavatam is Suta. Suta appears in the beginning, and Suta winds up. Offering my obeisances to the supreme religious principle, devotional service to Lord Krishna. Gee, where else is that the religious principle? Where else do we find that concept, Rama? What other book says, yes, Bhagavad Gita, bhakti, bhakti, bhakti. Right? You've heard me say that billions of times. Bhakti is the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. So notice it's the same. The Supreme Creator, and to all the Brahmins, because Suta is speaking to the sages, Anamisharanya, thank you. I shall now describe the eternal principles of religion. O great sages, I have narrated to you the wonderful pastimes of Lord Vishnu, as you have inquired about them from me. Hearing such narrations is the suitable engagement for a person who is actually a human being. So, if one is not hearing the narrations about Lord Vishnu, then according to Suta, he's not a real human being. He's a Dvipada Pashu, two-legged animal. That you will see earlier in Bhagavatam. This literature fully glorifies the Supreme Personality of God, and everybody say, who removes all his devotees' sinful reactions. So that's one way of defining, what's that word? Hari. Everybody say, yes, he removes all the devotees' sinful reactions. Arjuna, where else do we see this line? Removes all sinful reactions. Where else is that found? 1866. Very good. Your father is now proud of you. Yes. The Lord is glorified as, everybody say, Rishikesh, everybody say, and the Lord of the Sattvatas. Who is the Lord of the Sattvatas? Who is it in particular? You study about him in 10th canto. Who's the Lord of the Sattvatas? Krishna. Yes, he's the Lord of the Sattvatas. This literature describes the mystery of the supreme absolute truth. Brahma. Where else do we find this word? Spiritual or transcendental mystery. Rahasyam hi etat uttamam. Where is that? What book also has this same? Bhagavad Gita. Yes, do you know the verse? Let's see if we can remember the verse. Where Krishna says, Bhaktosi me sakacheti. Huh? No. Chapter 4. where Krishna says, Bhaktosi me sakacheti, rahasyam hi etad uttamam. Because Arjuna had two qualifications, he was able to understand the transcendental mystery. What were those two qualifications? Friend and devotee of Krishna, yes. The source of creation and annihilation of this universe also presented our divine knowledge of Him together with the process of its cultivation and the transcendental realization one achieves. The following topics are also narrated. So that's a quick summary of what Bhagavatam is. But this paragraph we just read is a quick, very quick summary. Now he's going to go into detail. The process of devotional service, together with its subsidiary feature of renunciation, meaning devotional service has to also include detachment from material sense gratification. If you're not seeing yourself becoming detached from material sense gratification, then your devotional service is faulty. If you're actually doing devotional service, you should be noticing your material activities are starting to dwindle. That's what renunciation is. You're becoming disentangled from material life. Let's continue. And the histories of Maharaj Parikshit and the sage Narada also described our saintly King Parikshit sitting down to fast until death in response to the curse of the Brahmin's son. So what canto are we on now? In this, who knows? What we just read, history of Parikshit, Narada, sitting down to fast, what canto do you think that is? Nobody's read Bhagavatam? First canto. First canto. Come on. All right, we need to read Bhagavatam. That's all in first canto. And the conversations between Parikshit and Shukadev, who is the best of the Brahmins. The Bhagavatam also explains how one can attain liberation at the time of death by practicing fixed meditation yoga. Okay, Giri, what canto now? Second canto, right? The first step in God realization. Meditating on the universal form. He doesn't go at the lotus feet right away. What's the first step? Virat Rupa, meditation. It also contains a discussion between Narada and Brahma. What canto is that? I'm giving you the clue. What canto? 2, very good. At least he's paying attention. An enumeration of the incarnations of the Supreme Personality of God. That's also in chapter 2. Brahma explains to Narada, his son, a quick gist of many of the incarnations, and a description of how the universe was created in progressive sequence, beginning from the unmanifested stage of material nature. That's also in Canto 2. This scripture also relates the discussions of Vidura had with Uddhava. What canto? We're finished with Canto 2, therefore 3, very good. And the discussions he had with Maitreya, because the whole 3rd and 4th canto is simply the discussion between Vidura and Maitreya. First couple of chapters, it's Vidura and Uddhava, but then the rest of 3rd canto is Vidura and Maitreya. Inquiries about the subject matter of this Purana and the winding up of creation within the body of the Supreme Lord at the time of annihilation, the creation affected by the agitation of the modes of material nature, the 7 stages of evolution by elemental transformation, and the construction of the universal egg which arises from the universal form of the Supreme Lord. All these are thoroughly described in Canto 3. That's in Canto 3. Other topics include the subtle and gross movements of time. That's also Canto 3. The generation of the lotus from the navel of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. That's also Canto 3. And the killing of the demon Hiranyaksha. That's also Canto 3. When the earth was delivered from the Garbhodaka ocean. The Bhagavatam also describes the creation of demigods, animals, and demoniac species of life. That's third canto. The birth of Lord Rudra. That's also third canto. Where did Lord Rudra come from? Yes, say it. From the forehead of Lord Brahma when he got angry. And the appearance of Swayambhuva Manu and Shatarupa, the first man and woman generated from the body of Lord Brahma. That's also third canto. And the offspring of the pious wives of Prajapati Kardama. Huh? I didn't hear you. That's Canto 3rd. The Bhagavatam describes the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the exalted sage. Everybody say? That's third canto. And records the conversation between that greatly learned soul and his mother, Devahuti. That's third canto. Also described are the progeny of the 9 great Brahmins. So now we're getting, so that's between third and fourth canto. Now we're getting into fourth canto. Because look what happens. The destruction of Daksha's sacrifice. That begins in chapter 2 of fourth canto. So there's several chapters which deal with Daksha. And the history of Dhruva Maharaj. That's fourth canto. Followed by the histories of King Prithu. That's fourth canto. And King Prajini Barhi. That's fourth canto. The discussion between Prajini Barhi and Narada. Fourth canto. And the life of Maharaj Priyavrata. That's in the 5th canto. Then, O Brahmins, the Bhagavatam tells of the character and activities of King Nabi. 5th canto. Lord Rishabha. 5th. And King Bharata. 5th canto. How many lifetimes did it take Maharaj Bharat to go back to Godhead? 3 times. First birth, he was son of Rishabdev. Second birth, deer. Third birth, Jad Bharat. Yes. Then, back to Godhead. The Bhagavatam gives an elaborate description of the earth's continents, regions, oceans, mountains, and rivers. That's in the 5th canto. For me, very difficult to read. I have a very hard time understanding. Also described are the arrangement of the celestial sphere and the conditions found in the subterranean regions and in hell. That's Canto 5. Because the final chapter is Shukadeva Goswami's giving you a tour of hell. Final chapter of the 5th canto. The rebirth of Prajapati Daksha as the son of the Pracheta. So that's 6th canto. And the progeny of Daksha's daughters who initiated the races of demigods, demons, human beings, animals, serpents, birds, and so on. We're still in the 6th canto. O Brahmanas, also recounted are the births and deaths of Vitrasura. That's 6th canto. And Diti's sons, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. That's the beginning of Canto 7. As well as the history of the greatest of Diti's descendants, the exalted soul, Prahlad. That's in 7th canto. The reign of each Manu, that's in 8th canto. The liberation of Gajendra, 8th canto. And the special incarnations of Lord Vishnu in each Manvantara, that's 8th canto. How many Manus in a day of Brahma? 14. Such as Lord Hayashirsha. Anybody know another name for Lord Hayashirsha? Hayagriva. What color was his body? No. Same as Lord Chaitanya. Golden, yes. The Bhagavatam also tells of the appearances of the Lord of the universe as Kurma, Matsya, Narasingha, and Vamana. So Kurma is in 8th canto, Matsya is in 8th canto, but Nisringa is where? 7th. And Vamana, we did a whole class, 8th canto. It's the last section. And the demigods churning of the milk ocean to obtain nectar. That's 8th canto. An account of the great battle fought between the demigods and the demons. 8th canto. A systematic description of the dynasties of various kings. So now we're in 9th canto. And narrations concerning Ikshvaku's birth. Ikshvaku appears also in what chapter of Bhagavad Gita? 4th chapter. Nijadam. Very good. Because that's how the Bhagavad Gita came. Krishna spoke originally to who? Vivaswan, the sun god. Vivaswan gave it to his son, Manu, who gave it to his son, Ikshvaku. And then it comes down to human society. And the dynasty of the pious Sujumna, 9th canto, yes, because he got a curse. So 1 month he was woman, 1 month he was man. That's how he lived. And he's supposed to rule the earth. Whereas 1 month a woman, could you imagine that right now? Trump, 1 month a woman, I'd love to see it. All are presented within this literature. Also related are the histories of Ila and Tara, so that's 9th canto, and the description of the descendants of the sun god, including such kings as Shashad and Nriga. The histories of Sukanya, Sharyati, so this is all 9th canto. The intelligent Kakutha, Katvanga, Katvanga, he appears in 2nd canto. So Katvanga fought on behalf of the demigods. After fight, he's an earthly king. After fighting the demigods, he asked the demigods, how much time what did they say? 1 moment. What did he do? He fully surrendered. That's what he did. He fully surrendered, and where do you think he went? Back to Godhead. Yes. The Bhagavatam narrates the sanctifying pastimes of Lord Ramachandra, 9th canto, the king of Kosala, and also explains how King Nimi abandoned his material body. The appearance of the descendants of King Janak is also mentioned. The Srimad Bhagavatam describes how Lord Parashuram, the greatest descendant of Bhrigu, annihilated all the Kshatriyas on the face of the earth. How many times? 21 times. That's in 9th canto. It further recounts the lives of glorious kings who appeared in the dynasty of the moon god. Kings such as Aila, Yayati, Nahusha, Dushmanta's son Bharat. That's a different Bharat. He's a partial incarnation of Vishnu. Shantanu, and Shantanu's son, Bhishma. This is all in 9th canto. Also described is the great dynasty founded by King Yadu, the eldest son of Yayati. Why is this Yadu so important? Yes, Krishna is part of the Yadu dynasty. how Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead and Lord of the universe, descended into this Yadu dynasty, how Krishna took birth in the home of Vasudeva, and how Krishna then grew up in Gokula. What canto are we in now? Oh, now we know. Very good. Excellent. All this is described in detail. Also glorified are the innumerable pastimes of Sri Krishna, the enemy of the demons, including his childhood pastimes of sucking out Putana's life air along with her breast milk, breaking the cart, trampling down Trinavarta, killing Baka Asura, Vatsa Asura, and Agasura, and the pastimes he enacted when Lord Brahma hid his calves and cowherder boyfriends in a cave. The Srimad Bhagavatam tells how Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram killed the demon Denakasura and his companions. How Lord Balaram destroyed Palambasura, and how Krishna saved the cowherd boys from a raging forest fire that encircled them. The chastisement of the serpent Kaliya. Notice, he didn't kill Kaliya. Who saved Kaliya? His wives, yes, the Naga Patnis. Because of them, he was spared. Where did he go? Fiji. Fiji. Yes. The rescue of Nanda Maharaj from a great snake. The severe vows performed by the young gopis. In other words, they went 1 month in the winter season every morning, took a cold bath in the Yamuna, and what was their prayer? Huh? Yes, I want Krishna to be my husband. Each one was praying, but not telling the other. And Krishna, how did Krishna know all this? Because he's in the heart. Very good. That's the perfect answer. Krishna's in the heart. Who thus satisfied Lord Krishna. The mercy he showed the wives of the Vedic Brahmanas. What did the cowherd boys ask from the Vedic Brahmanas? Yes. And the Brahmin said what? Get away, we're too busy. So then Krishna told them to go where? Wives. What did they do? Yes, they didn't just give the food. They personally brought it. And what did the wives say to Krishna? That's right. He said, we know the philosophy. You're supposed to now give us shelter because we're surrendered. We don't want to go back home. That's what they told Krishna. We don't want to go back home. We've left. We want to stay with you under your lotus feet. But what did Krishna tell them? Go back to your husbands. Yes, and Krishna said also that love for me is not necessarily because you're in proximity. You develop love for me by what we're doing. Hearing, chanting, praying, serving, all the things that we do. This is how you develop love of God. The lifting of Govardhan Hill, followed by the worship and bathing ceremony performed by Indra and the Surabhi cow. Lord Krishna's nocturnal pastimes with the cowherd girls. What do we call that? What's that? Rasa Leela. Very good. And the killing of the foolish demons Shankachuda, Arishta, and Keshi. What did Shankachuda have that Krishna gave to Balaram after he killed him? A jewel. Yes. And what kind of animal was Arishta? Bull. Very good. And Keshi? Horse. Who sent Arishta and Keshi? Kamsa. Very good. All these pastimes are elaborately recounted. The Bhagavatam describes the arrival of Akrura. Who sent Akrura? Kamsa. What did Akrura do when he arrived in Vrindavan? Say it. He rolled in the dirt. What did he see? Whose footprints? Not just anybody's. He saw Krishna's footprints. And what's that? Yes, but he's not going to roll in cows. He's going to roll in Krishna's footprints. How do you know it's Krishna's footprints? Yes, Krishna's markings. You've heard me say, if anyone ever says to me, I'm God, I would say, let me see your feet. If I don't see the markings, I go away. Take a bath. The Bhagavatam describes the arrival of Akrura. What was Akrura supposed to do? Bring who? Krishna and Balaram? To where? To Kamsa. And what was the plan? By how? What would they have? What was the various things he arranged? The elephant. What's the elephant's name? Kuvalapida. What else? Yes, the wrestlers. That was the plan. But what happened? Kamsa was killed. Just see. The subsequent departure of Krishna and Balaram. The lamentation of the gopis. What did Krishna tell the gopis before leaving Vrindavan? Yes, I just have to go and kill a few demons. I'm coming right back. Did he come back? When did he come back? Yeah, long time. After Krishna had how many wives? And how many children? 10. And how many daughters? From each. Very good. So that was, he finally returned at the end. Yes. Balaram came back, but not Krishna did. Why didn't Krishna get to go back to Vrindavan? Why did Balaram get to go and not Krishna? That's right. Vasudeva and Devaki knew if we let Krishna go, he won't come back. So they did not give permission. They let Balaram go. Balaram went for a couple of months and came back. But they knew if Krishna goes back, he won't come back to us. So they said, no can go. But then, like you said, what did you say? Who did he kill? Right outside of Mathura. So Krishna said, here's my chance. All right. He went back, but first, they all went back to Godhead. They all went back to Godhead. All the residents of Vrindavan, when Krishna returned. Then Krishna, in his Vasudeva feature, went back to Dwaraka. Okay? All right, because Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. It was Krishna in his Vasudeva feature. All right, that's another discussion for another time. He merged? No, all the incarnations are with Krishna, but when Krishna kills demons or he's outside of Vrindavan, then that's called Vasudeva. All right, let's continue. The subsequent departure of Krishna and Balaram, the lamentation of the gopis, and the touring of Mathura. So, when Krishna toured Mathura, he met a few people. He met one lady. What was her name? Kubja. Okay. And what did she propose? That's right. I will satisfy all your desires. What did Krishna say? Some other time. Not now. Okay. When Krishna finally did go to Kubja, who went with him? Oh, somebody has studied. I like this. You have to come to all the programs now. Yes, and I like the fact that you're sitting at the head of the class. Very good. Good. Who else did Krishna meet? He killed somebody when he toured Mathura. The washerman, Dobi, right? He called Dobi, right? How did he kill him? with his... No, he went like this. Because I played the part once in the play in New York. I was the washerman. So I know how he gets killed. Huh? Yes. And then he met somebody else. Somebody made garlands. His name was Sudama, different Sudama. Florist. And he also met a tailor who made Krishna nice clothes. Very good. The lamentation of the gopis and touring of Mathura, also narrated, are how Krishna and Balaram killed the elephant Kuvalayapida, the wrestlers Mushtika and Chanura, and Kamsa and other demons, as well as how Krishna brought back the dead son of his spiritual master, Sandipani Muni. Okay, so, how many wives did Kamsa have? 2. What was their names? Oh, Rama. Excellent. She's good, isn't she? Right? So, Asti and Prapti. How many sons did Kamsa have? None. That's important. So, after Kamsa is killed, what do Asti and Prapti do? Back to their father. Who's their father? Oh, begins the next session. He's killed Kamsa, but now Krishna has created another enemy because Kamsa's 2 wives go back to daddy. So now Jaratsandha says, I'm going to defeat this Yadu dynasty. They're nonsense. How many times did Jarasandha